From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big noontime here on LALATE with incredible details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. In this recording, we go over the breaking news as the vote is called next week, and Jalapal speaks out, saying that the president has her back and she has his back. We'll have the incredible details breaking this noontime here from Santa Monica. Then we turn to this stimulus as the Fed head out of St. Louis speaks and suddenly sends the markets tumbling. Why? Inflation rates going higher. And that is great news for this stimulus that raises your benefits up a lifetime based upon that benchmark. I have all the details happening on noontime. Then we go over fifth stimulus checks heating up this fall, and we go over the big money you can get right now. Thousands of dollars that viewers continue to get. It's a big noontime with a lot of breaking news, a lot of wonderful news. I'm excited to hear. Let's get to it in this extended noontime broadcast, starting right now. Hey, good noontime, everybody. How you doing? You made it to the weekend. Congratulations. You made it to the weekend. Ready to crush the weekend? The weekend will not crush you, so don't worry about it. I hope your weather is good where you are. The heat wave has finally gone away in Southern California. Hitting the like button worked, so there you go. How's the weather where you are? Tell me where you're tuning in from. And how's the weather? If you're on the live chat, jump into it right now. Here in Southern California, there's a beautiful breeze. The sun is great. It's a little bit muggy, a little bit on the muggy side, but I hope that haze breaks away in the next few hours this Friday afternoon. Boy, I got a lot of breaking news for you. Fourth stimulus is heating up with the vote coming next week. The president's calling the vote. I'll have all the breaking details. And Jalapal speaks out. The progressives speak out. And we'll have all the incredible details and analysis of how this is working and how this is so great. Then we heat up with fifth stimulus. As the head of the Federal Reserve out of St. Louis says something different than Jay Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, said on Wednesday, but it's great for fifth stimulus for raising up your benefits and getting ready for that another stimulus check under the fifth stimulus package. Oh, yes. And then we turn to the thousands of dollars you can get right now, and viewers continue to get it. We'll go over all those details in this video. But if you're new, this is LALATE, the 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week financial channel, the only one of its kind in the United States, live on air in the morning like right now, and then taped in the afternoons. I'm back with you at 3 o'clock with afternoons. Then at 5 o'clock with evenings, and then 5:30 with overnights crypto. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Hit that subscribe button right now. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss a minute of the money you can get, thousands of dollars. Also like this video. It helps in getting you rid of bad weather. It also helps in the algorithm rankings, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right into the first of three parts of our fourth stimulus check update of 2021 in this video by going over the payouts from the House and the Senate. The House bill and the Senate bill and the Senate proposal, both monthly stimulus checks, but the amount and the number of checks is slightly different. Let's go over the details. House, stimulus checks for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. Senate, stimulus checks July to December. Okay, let's look at the monthly payouts. House, $1,000 a month after the first month of 2000. Senate, monthly unknown, but word on the street is the Senate Democrats want to pay you this. Oh, wow. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. That is per person. Wow. Now let's go back to that House Jalapal bill, which may get modified because of the pandemic. Legislators may contend the pandemic is over. That would result in just 12 checks over 12 months from the House, which would be $13,000 compared to this in the Senate over 6 months. Get into the live chat right now and vote House or Senate vote House or Senate right now in the live chat, and tell me where you're tuning in from. I want to hear which you prefer, and also tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. I think you have an opinion. I think you have an opinion. House or Senate, tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. Well, let's go over everything else you need to know about that. Fourth stimulus check. Who gets it? You too. Democrats want everyone who got a third stimulus check to get a fourth stimulus check. 75,000 or less. Single individual, Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 or less, Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check. Double it. Household 4 or less, Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits. Congratulations. Fourth stimulus check for you as well. Fourth stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check comes each month as a monthly stimulus check. It does not come in waves. It's not a waveable check. So if you see the check walking down the street, don't try to wave at it because it won't wave back at you and you'll think it's rude. Hey, check, it's the month of August. How are you? How you doing? You didn't wave back at me, that darn rude check. It's not a waveable check. It won't wave back to you now or in the month of August. There you go. So don't think it's personal. It's just not a waveable check. The Democrats represent that the final vote would be in the month of July for the month of July. And that means you would get a check in the month of July for the month of July. And then August for the month of August. And there you go. That is your first of 3 updates of the fourth stimulus check of 2021 in this video. Coming up in the second part of this 3-part update, I go over calling the vote. The voting starting next week for the reconciliation process. I'll explain why it's now voting. I'll explain how this voting is happening and how Jalapal is speaking out this week and explaining the surprise allegiance we did not see coming. It's wonderful news. But here's a preview of the second half of this video. Head of the Federal Reserve out of St. Louis says something this morning very different than Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, said on Wednesday. Wall Street's crashing, down 500 points. It's all about inflation. But the bigger number is better news for you if you're on benefits. And I'll explain how that lifts up your benefits under fifth stimulus, in addition to a fifth stimulus check. It's wonderful news. It's coming up in the second half of this video. But let's get some money. Let's get some money. If you're new to this channel, that's what I do. I get people money. This is not the stimulus tracking channel. I'm not someone that stands in front of a blank wall reading a script of a news broadcast. Nope. I get people money. Got viewers $25 million of EIDL loans in spring of last year, saved their businesses, their homes, and also their employees' homes. Then in fall of 2020, second stimulus was not going out. So I got viewers $250,000 of rent, utilities. Well, we're doing it again right now. Rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, homeowners, utilities. I want you to get it. Get a pen and paper ready. I'm going to go over all the incredible money you're going to get in this video. Stay to the very end. Get a pen and paper ready. And if it must be a Crayola crown, then at least match my shirt, please. I'm going to go over all that eligibility, but we're starting first with that rent. It's about $5,000. About 4 to 6 months of rent. It is wonderful. So where do you get it? Well, each place has different eligibility. So if one says no, reach out to the next until you get a yes. All right, you got that pen and paper ready, which I just dropped the pen. Yeah, you got your pen and paper ready. Here we go. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You don't say words they don't know. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus or Mitch's disco ball. Mitch is a disco ball? Yeah, you just keep it between yourself and him. You just don't mention that to them. They're just like, what? A certain, excuse me. They won't understand what you're talking about. And congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this money. They got some money for rent and utilities. But boy, if you've gotten a penny or 100,000 pennies, I have gotten someone 100,000 pennies for this channel, jump in the live chat because it inspires me, inspires someone else. And yesterday I got inspired because someone got $5,000 for this next thing. Last week someone got $6,000 to $7,000 for it. I was inspired them as well. What is it? It's SNAP. It is money for food. Reach out to the Department of Agriculture to get it. It pays a fortune. How much? Family of 4 in Hawaii now gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raised your benefits up 15% nationally between now and December. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, for her son, and her mom. Gail got it as well. And congratulations to countless other viewers who have gotten it as well. So go get it. There you go. $16,000 for SNAP, family of 4 in Hawaii, or $5,000 approximately for rent. We're killing it. You're killing it. We're only 10 minutes in this video, and we're killing it. Well, I got more money for you. That's $5,000. Wow. Where's this coming from? The states. The federal government has identified states as overpaying you unemployment assistance due to computer error. Not your computer. Your computer works fine. It's their darn computer. Well, the federal government said, no, fix your computer and send back that money to the citizens. They say it was your money to keep. The federal government has ordered the states to return the money back to you. OMG. Yes, one viewer got this money. So how do you get the money? On the account that you have on file with the unemployment department. When are you getting this money? Well, if you want to track the money, call up the unemployment department and say, hi, I want to track can you tell me when my money's coming back? And don't look it up with that computer. It doesn't work. Computer work. Humor. Anyway, let's get to that last pot of money, and it's wonderful. Khan got it. Margaret got it. Viewers just get it every single day. If you're one of the viewers, jump in the live chat. What is it? It's the money coming back from the unemployment department. And it's money coming back from IRS that you pay taxes on for your unemployment. It's wonderful. Let's go over how much it is, when you're going to get it, and where you're going to get it, and the routing. First, how much? Wow. Well, if you had $9,000 of unemployment assistance, you paid $5,000 in your total 2020 tax bill to IRS, of which $4,000 was the taxes on the unemployment. You're getting back $4,000. Congratulations. Where? In direct deposit, if you have that set up on that tax return, or otherwise in the mail. When? This month. How to track it? Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password, and do a transcript search. About 70% of the time it works. And when it does, you'll see the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid, and the refund check you're getting back. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Can we top that wonderful news? We can, with the second of your third update of the fourth stimulus check in this video. Let's get right to Jalapa. Jalapa is speaking out, and so are other progressives. And I'm going to go over their comments you're going to hear now on this extended noontime broadcast starting right now. And then I'll go over the analysis of what that means, the comments. First, Jalapa said that the White House has not in any way told us progressives not to do what us progressives are doing. Wow. Wonderful news. And then Brian Schatz, a Democrat out of Hawaii, said that the White House has repeatedly reassured him that the White House considers the progressive priorities the White House's own priorities. OMG. So what does that mean? Well, this is what it means. The fourth stimulus is an infrastructure bill at core, but there's other add-ons in there. One of the other add-ons that are not infrastructure, the president's climate and the president's care economy, which refers to money for seniors and medicine. Both of those two add-ons are progressive policies, and they are coming from the White House, climate and the CARES economy. So who is the president having help get those progressive policies to the finish line for him? The progressives. Pretty obvious. And the president's made very adamant that he is going to the mat unless he has those provisions, those progressive policies he wants in the final bill. He's adamant that they're in the final bill, and he's using the progressives to get it to the final bill. So what are the progressives doing? The progressives are getting it to the final end for him. Plus, they're adding in anything else of other progressive policies that they want to add in. And the president's fine with that. Why? Because both sides are rubbing each other's backs. The president wants his two progressive policies. So long as they're in there, he'll let the progressives do their other progressive policies, which are multiple stimulus checks. Wow. For the first time in 2021, we see the president really aligned to the progressives because he has to have progressives get his two progressive policies to the finish line. And by doing that, he's letting them do it and having them have their progressive policy of stimulus checks in there as well. Wow. So how do we get to that point? Well, we got to that point the Friday before Memorial Day weekend when Lena Schumer announced the news, 3 breaking details. 1, we're under recon currently at the time, still under it. And 2, we'll finish by July 4th. And 3, we'll finish with an approval. Well, how did we get to that point? We got to that point when Jalapa wrote Schumer a letter. There goes Jalapa again. Jalapa wrote Schumer a letter saying, call a vote, Chuck. Well, who co-signed that letter? 12 House Democrats, who are among the 100-plus House Democrats who had written the president a letter weeks earlier saying, Mr. President, we're going to be putting multiple stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Wow, now that's wonderful. Can we top that? We can't top that. When about 7 days ago, 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter saying, Mr. President, when we go and write the fourth stimulus, we're going to put monthly stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Well, who are these people to say that? What do they do for a living? What do they do for a living? They're on the subcommittee of the House that's solely responsible for writing stimulus checks to the U.S. Congress. OMG, they are? Did they write the first stimulus check? They did. Did they write the second stimulus check? They did. Did they write the third stimulus check? They did. And what are they doing now? Well, they're representing the currently marking up the bill. And they're putting monthly stimulus checks in there they represent. OMG. Well, are they doing a fifth stimulus check? They are. And that's in the second half of this video. Wow. Can we get better than that? We can. And it's with the president calling the vote for next week and the president doing a deal with international leaders which anchors for stimulus over near to the edge of the finish line by no longer having those provisions needed in the fourth stimulus package. They're now covered by the international agreement. Let me explain the details of that. It started on a recent Tuesday ago when I said the president was doing something complicated. Very, very complicated. I had to slow it down for you. So I'm going to slow it down right now as well. Well, here's what was going on. The president is paying for fourth stimulus by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate, the tax rate that corporations pay in the United States. But he said he was worried because if he raises the U.S. corporate tax rate, then maybe corporations will leave U.S. soils to find a corporate tax rate lower in another country. So what did he do? He reached out to those other countries and said, let's all raise our minimum corporate tax rate. And they tentatively agreed. To which the president told his legislative team at the time, I like how this is going. In December, like around Christmas, we'll go back to those countries and have them sign the dotted line. And if they do, then we'll remove the provisions for fourth stimulus we don't need. Well, he surprised everyone. It surprised me. I gave the tip-off about it shortly before he announced it. But then he did it. Biden did it last Saturday. He went overseas on his first international trip and got those foreign countries to agree upon the global minimum corporate tax rate now. Not in December, but now, before fourth stimulus, to anchor fourth stimulus right to the edge of the finish line. Because now those provisions are no longer needed in fourth stimulus about corporate tax rates. They're covered in the international agreement, a lot of those provisions. Wow. Now that is wonderful. Making it easier to pass fourth stimulus than ever before. OMG. But it gets better, and it's in the third part of this fourth stimulus check updated 2021. I'll be going over what you're anticipating for next week, how next week is going to heat up. I have that in the third part of this video coming up after the commercial break. But what else is wonderful? The volunteers. They embody the true purple power spirit. If you're having problems finding that rent, that internet, or that homeowner's assistance or SNAP, don't worry. Reach out to the volunteers. They'll help find it for you. How do you reach out to them? Open the description. Go down in the description. Look for an emoji of a house. When you find that emoji of a house, you'll see the word community page. Click on those words and it'll send you to the community page, news.la.com/community. And there you'll see some kitty cats. They're not the volunteers. They're just kitty cats. But lower on the page are the volunteers. They're separated from Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Reach out to them, and they'll help you get that money. Viewers helping viewers. The true purple power spirit. And coming up after this commercial break, I have the exciting third part of our fourth stimulus check update of this video, and the big details about fifth stimulus and the raising up of your benefits lifetime, and what happened with that Fed chair out of St. Louis this morning. It's wonderful news. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. home. LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues on the second half of this extended noontime broadcast live from Santa Monica. How are you doing? It's a beautiful Friday. Congratulations, you made it to the weekend. How's the weather where you are? Tell me if you're just joining the chat where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. In the second half of this video, we'll be going over the fourth stimulus, the voting process starting next week as they try to get that stimulus package to the finish line. Then we'll be turning to fifth stimulus with another stimulus check and the raising up of your benefits lifetime and the breaking news happening minutes ago. But first, subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. I want you part of this family. So hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that fifth stimulus. A lot of breaking news about fifth stimulus. First, another stimulus check under the fifth stimulus package? Yes. So the 7 House Democrats have represented that they will be doing a fifth stimulus check as well. When is that? Likely 2022. Fourth stimulus this year. Fifth stimulus next year. Fifth stimulus will likely go to votes in September through November, be finished by November, and then out in the mail next year. Second, the president made news this week by dedicating $1 billion to the Social Security Administration Fund to ensure your benefits go out on time and your stimulus checks go out on time. I'm one of the few people that find this very exciting. I just never seen anyone react to this part of the stories ever. I don't know why. There were thousands, tens of thousands of people saying, I never got my stimulus check. I'm on benefits. I'm a direct express by Comerica. He's trying to eliminate all that. Their stimulus had just a mess with people on benefits never getting their checks on time. Well, he's trying to eliminate that by ramping up the whole system by dedicating $1 billion in budget to modernize all processes so you get checks and benefits more on time. Then we have the third breaking detail, which is the head of the Federal Reserve out of St. Louis. This morning, he said something totally different than Jay Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve nationally, said on Wednesday. Jay Powell Wednesday said, we're going to continue to support the economy. It still needs more stimulus, and we will not be tapering yet. And we may have 2 interest rate hikes in 2023, not 2022. And he said, I'm not worried about inflation. So this morning, the head of the Federal Reserve out of St. Louis apparently didn't watch Wednesday's press conference because he said a little bit different. He said the inflation is red hot right now. Yeah, it is. And he expects interest rate hikes next year, not 2 years from now. Oh boy, that's a little different. And then he said, we need to start tapering soon. OMG. So Wall Street sort of knew that was the future, but never thought it was going to be said by a Fed chair out of the Midwest. So that's why Dow is down 500 points today. Crypto's crashed as well. So what does this have to do with your fifth stimulus? Everything. Because remember, fifth stimulus, your benchmark now going forward, they want to have as inflation. Well, it now signals that what I've been saying is right about that inflation spiking later this year. Let's go over how this calculates out for you under the fifth stimulus package so you understand how the numbers play out. First, they're going to raise up your benefits one time. Then they're going to apply this inflationary benchmark every December for the next year. Then they're going to remove the asset limit, remove the income exclusion, remove the marriage penalty. Let me explain how this all works shortly. So simply as well. So the way a benchmark works is every December they look at something and they determine whether to raise you up for next year's benefits. So the new benchmark would be inflation. Well, most analysts are now saying because of the consumer price index number and the producer price index number in the last 7 days, that inflation is much higher than we thought. It's about 4% potentially right now, and that it's going up temporarily to a transitory or temporary spike around 10%, and then will come back down. A temporary spike at the top of a mountain, running up the mountain, coming back down. But when? Well, here's what you need to know. You have to hope that that spike happens right around when they apply your benchmark in November, December, because that will raise your benefits up a lifetime. Yes, a lifetime at that rate. Here's how this works. First, they'll raise your benefits up one time under fifth stimulus, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, or multiple benefits. Then they'll apply that benchmark. If the benchmark hits that spike right when the spike is happening at 10%, your benefits are raised 10% lifetime, not just next year, because once you go up, you never step down. Then they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you're not supposed to have more than $3,000 on hand. That's going to go away. They're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. Now you'll be able to work. And finally, they're going to remove the marriage penalty, so love is going to win. You'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and not fear loss of benefits, and no longer fear being penalized if you are married and on benefits. And there you go. That's your fourth stimulus check updated 2021 fifth stimulus check updated 2021 in this video. But boy, there's a lot of other stuff in that fifth stimulus besides that. Well, there's thousands of dollars for you to get under third stimulus, thousands under fourth when it passes, and thousands under fifth. But how do you get them, and what are they? Consider becoming a member, because members are sent a breakdown daily from me, personally written from me, of what's in the third stimulus to get those thousands of dollars. If you're in the live chat and notice there's an emoji next to people's names, they're members. Click the member link at the top of the chat and pin comment. And daily I deliver to you breakdowns of everything else on the third stimulus that pays thousands of dollars so you can know what you're entitled to get. Stuff under fourth stimulus and stuff under fifth stimulus. Many of these items are application-based and not automatic. Which brings us now to the big final third part of our fourth stimulus check update 2021 in this video. Boy, there's a lot of breaking news today. We're going to be going over personal thoughts, then we'll go over calling the vote, and then we'll go over fake narratives, and finally purple power push. Personal thoughts. First, you're doing a really good job on social media. You've been ramping up. It was a week ago today that there was 12 tweets in 12 hours. And I just said, oh, that is not going to cut it. 12 tweets in 12 hours. Now you're doing about 100 tweets an hour, which is just wonderful. Keep it up. It's important to know that you've also done very well in distancing yourself from the stimulus psychic network. And I want to say something new about that as well. You're going to hear for the first time on Noontime LALATE right now today. The Stimulus Psychic Network is not here. The Stimulus Psychic Network is I predict, I think, I sing, I see it, I predict, I anticipate. No, you can't do that with legislators on any legislative story. Why? Because they're currently marking up the bill, as you heard earlier in this video. Marking up the bill means they have a draft of the bill and they got a pen in their hand. At the end of the pen is ink. At the other side of the pen is an eraser. And at any time, you may be ecstatic that something's in there, and they may turn the pen to the eraser and start erasing it out. Or you may be pessimistic, something's not in there, and they may putting the ink to the paper and be writing it in there. So you can't do stimulus psychic at home, at the water cooler, on the front porch at all. It's not that this is a legislator. Next, you've been very good on understanding it's not bill yet, it's not law yet, and donut. We've done this a few times before, though. And there's always someone that wants to jump in the comments and say, are we going to get it, yes or no? Well, you don't know a yes or no until there's actually a bill signed and the president's holding it up in the Oval Office. That's clearly not happened yet. So the bill has not been held up and held in the Oval Office. Until that moment happens, you don't know anything until it's actually held up. But it's not a time or place to be speculating about it, because there's 9 steps involved. Viewers have been asking, can they do multiple steps on the same day? Yes, with the exception of the vote-a-rama. So let's go over those 9 steps so you understand them. And pay attention to 5, 6, 7, and 8, because those are the critical ones. All right, step 1. The House subcommittee calls the procedural bill for a vote. Step 2, this House floor calls the procedural bill for a vote. Step 3, the Senate calls the procedural bill for a vote. And step 4, the president signs the procedural bill into law. The tow truck is passed over the finish line. Time to go get the tow hitch, the substance bill. All right, here we go. Step 5, the House subcommittee finishes marking up the bill and calls it for a vote. They can put monthly stimulus checks in at that point. Step 6, the House floor votes on the substantive bill. Step 7 and 8, here we go. The 2-day vote-a-rama. The senators receive the House bill and during the 2-day vote-a-rama can amend it. 3 possibilities. Number 1, there's no stimulus checks in from the House, so the senators amend and add them in. Possibility number 2, if there are stimulus checks in there from the House and the senators amend to make them different. And then scenario number 3, there are stimulus checks in there from the House, but the senators like them and they leave them alone. And then step number 9, vote number 9, the president signs into law. 9 steps. We had heard for over a week that the final step would be no later than July 4th. But now we know from the president, the great news, Biden did it, is that step 1 starts early next week. Step 1 goes to that vote. We also know they're currently marking up the bill. We also know that the Democrats are all aligned to pass this. But that brings me to fake narrative. There's a fake narrative every left and right this week, and I expect more this weekend. That's why it's important for you to stay with me all throughout the weekend, because there's a lot of breaking news still happening about this. One of the new fake narratives today, which I would not have anticipated this one's a surprise even to myself, of a fake narrative, is some Democrats are now being accused of backing up a U-Haul truck and saying, you know what, I'm inserting my turnip provision and my avocado toast bill into this. And unless you pass my avocado toast bill, you're toast. I'm not voting for you. Apparently a few of them are sort of doing this, not Joe Manchin, of course, but a couple of apparently are doing this. They're calling people's bluff. Whether their avocado toast provision gets in there or not, who knows? But there's apparently a couple doing that, and these are people who have folded like launches before, so you sort of know who they are. But that is new for today, and I did not expect that. Now, I certainly do expect a little bit more of the fake narrative from print and moderate Democrats and also GOP all the way into the final vote. So what I want you to know is I want you to really listen to just about 4 people: the president, Chuck, Jalapal, and myself in this community. Because beyond that, you're going to see strange narratives. They just always do this. What are these elected officials after? Donations. They want to get campaign donations for higher office or to be reelected, and they're using the excitement or the anticipation or the question of a bill passage always to get money in their coffers to advance themselves politically. So be prepared for all that. Finally, purple power. Boy, you've been doing a great job. Understand the importance of purple power is that 2021 is different than 2020. The pandemic is over, is ending. Inflation is zooming. Some people are back to work. Some people are not back at work. And they need to hear from you how you're struggling, because the understanding of the American people struggling in 2020 was a clear message and a clear image. How many people are struggling in 2021? Not as clear an image. Here's an example. Yesterday, the new unemployment claims, meaning people who were never unemployed before, came in and the number went up. It grew. It got worse. So that story needs to be told. Stimulus needs to be provided. And that ultimately they need to hear your story. So go on social media, hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. Viewers have been asking me who to tag: Democrats in the House, Democrats in the Senate. Also, progressive accounts like the House Progressive account, the House Progressive Chair, House Progressive Vice Chair, things like that, the Senate Progressive account, anything like that, and change it up. Also, retweet other Purple Power tweets. One viewer said this is the easiest thing to do. Of course it's easy. The more you retweet someone else's tweet, the more they see that tweet coming at them. And then finally, if you don't use social media, go the old-fashioned way, the telephone. The telephone's important because when you talk to a staffer in a DC office from an elected official, they don't have staffs of 300, 500 people. They maybe have 50 people, maybe less. And so if they get a phone call every few hours from a viewer that says, hey, I want to express to you professionally why I think we should have that stimulus check in there. I want you to know why it's important, because I have debts and I'm not back to normal and this and that. Then they can humanize it because they hear your concern. Remember, telephone is one of the most humanizing ways to communicate a message, especially when there's someone on the other end that can hear your message, and they'll take notes and they'll pass it off to the senator or the House member. And finally, keep it strong and keep it motivated. So share these videos on Facebook, Reddit, and Instagram. And also, if you're not used to social media, then use the telephone. And with that, thank you for joining me on a big noontime. I'm next back with you at 3 o'clock with Afternoons LALATE. 3 o'clock Afternoons LALATE. It's going to be a big show today. And so is the Evenings LALATE. Oh boy, 5 p.m. So I don't want you to miss those shows. And with that, make sure you subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. I want you part of this family, so hit that subscribe button right now. Also, like this video. It helps in improving the weather. And also helps in getting the video to rank with the algorithm. So hit that like button and subscribe. And consider becoming a member so you have all the details of third stimulus, fourth stimulus, and fifth stimulus delivered to you daily by me via the community page on YouTube. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful noontime, and I'll see you next on Afternoons LA. Stay informed and stay with LA for more.